Four men have been found guilty of murdering a teenager, Abdirahim Mohamed, who died after being discovered lying in a Leicester street with 7 stab wounds. The fatally wounded 18-year-old was found in Melbourne Street in Highfields on Wednesday, September the 8th, 2021, after police were called following reports of a fight in the area. Abdirahim died in hospital during the early hours of the following day, which was Thursday, September the 9th, with Leicestershire Police announcing soon afterwards that they had launched a murder inquiry. Detectives established that Abdirahim had been attacked after a number of men jumped out of an Audi and chased him. Today, Rizwan Gul, Mohammed Hansrod, Israfeel Gul and Zakir Brant were convicted of murdering Abdirahim following a trial at Leicester Crown Court. Fellow defendants Daniel Pollard and Bavich Palmer were found guilty of manslaughter, and Fahad Ali Salim was found guilty of assisting an offender in connection with the incidents. There was another offender who was Mohammed Feroz Khan, and he had previously pleaded guilty to assisting an offender. After the verdicts were announced, Abdirahim's family told of the torments they have suffered in the wake of his death. Abdul Suleiman, who's 59, was found not guilty of murder and not guilty of manslaughter. Adam Brant, who's 29, and Katib Gul, who's 58, were found not guilty of assisting an offender. Spokesperson for the force said it received a number of calls at around 11:45 on September the 9th last year about a brawl taking place. When Abdirahim was discovered by officers, he was taken to hospital where he was pronounced dead. The senior investigating officer, Detective Chief Inspector Tony Yarwood, said after the guilty verdicts were announced, this was an extremely violent and planned attack on an 18-year-old man which took away his life. My thoughts remain with Mr. Mohammed's family at this time, who have suffered unimaginable pain and loss. Today, 4 men have been convicted of Mr. Mohammed's murder, 2 men of manslaughter, and 1 man of assisting an offender. 1 man has previously pleaded guilty to assisting an offender. These convictions have only happened thanks to the support from our communities and the work of our dedicated response and investigation team. So following the attack, which was not captured on CCTV, the men made their way to Kent Street on foot after losing the keys to the Audi. A Ford Mondeo then picked them up from the area. Members of the public came out to help Abdirahim while paramedics made their way to the scene. The force said it was believed the attack was carried out following a previous incident involving Abdirahim and some of the defendants. The prosecutor said public information was vital in helping us to progress our inquiries and find those responsible for Mr. Mohammed's death. Thank you to those of you who worked with us and supported us during the investigation by providing this information to us. So the information I can gather with regards to this, the prosecutor stated that Abdirahim was a dealer and the defendant set him up by getting Abdul Suleiman to lure him to an area on the pretext of buying drugs. The prosecutor said when they knew Abdirahim was where they wanted him to be, they drove in 2 cars to the location, armed with, at the very least, 2 knives, probably more, as well as bats, poles and pieces of wood. All were wearing balaclavas or masks with hoods up to hide their identities. Having attacked Abdirahim, they made good their escape in one of the 2 cars they arrived in, leaving the other car at the scene, which wasn't part of the plan, as I said, as they'd accidentally dropped the car keys next to the man that they'd attacked. The prosecutor said the reason he was attacked was because he was a rival drug dealer. A few nights earlier, Abdirahim and others launched an attack on an address associated with Rizwan Gul, who was there with Mohammed Hansrod and another man, Fahad Ali Salim, who suffered an injury and required hospital treatment. The prosecutor claimed that Abdirahim and those with him robbed Rizwan Gul of his car keys. They took his car and mobile phones. One handset contained customer contact details said to have been used for Abdirahim and his associates to take over supplying to their rivals' clients. He said, "It is commonly called a turf war, with rival dealers vying for customers and prepared to attack one another in order to obtain them. Having been attacked and robbed, Rizwan Gul and the others set out about exacting revenge, which led to the attack on Abdirahim. Having attacked and killed him, many of those involved left Leicester, and within hours 5 of the attackers arrived in Birmingham in the early hours of September the 9th. The remaining 2, Abdul Suleiman and Mohammed Hansrod, stayed in Leicester." Suleiman claimed to have been a witness to the attack, but the police did not believe him and he was arrested on September the 10th. Hansrod initially stayed local before travelling to Birmingham with his girlfriend. The prosecution said that the fact the defendant went to Birmingham hours after the killing is compelling evidence as to who was involved in this murder. They were all parts of a group who arrived at the scene in 2 cars to attack Abdirahim. Said the prosecution was unable to say who had delivered which blow and with which weapons. However, he added, "That doesn't matter. They all went there with the same intention, that Abdirahim would be attacked and, at the very least, seriously injured. He also alleged Suleiman's similarly critical role was to lure Abdirahim and to inform the others when he arrived, and they were all jointly responsible. The prosecution said that there were no CCTV cameras that captured the attack, but several residents witnessed the ferocious attack outside their homes. They said Abdirahim was initially chased across the park into Garendon Street, where something happened and his watch came off. He ran into Maynard Street and then into Melbourne Street, where the witness saw someone slashing him with a machete and calling him a pussy, while others kicked him. A woman resident came out and shouted to get off him. Another witness heard screams of pain and saw 4 to 6 people attacking a lone male who was being hit with a pole and being kicked. Members of the public went to Abdirahim's aid, providing towels and applying pressures to his wounds. Paramedics and a rapid response doctor attended. The prosecutor said every effort was made to save him, but to no avail. Just over an hour and a half later, he was declared dead in hospital. 2 of his 7 stab wounds were serious, one to the back that pierced a rib, a lung and diaphragm, and one to his left thigh that severed a main artery. He also suffered a large skull fracture and a brain injury caused by blunt force, consistent with a blow from a bat or pole or banging his head on the ground. Abdirahim's mobile phones, including the drugs line, handset stolen in the robbery, were missing. The prosecutors alleged the defendants had seized the phone in the attack. So just want to say rest in peace, Abdirahim Mohamed, and my condolences go out to your family. So his family spoke about the horror of his death that still haunts them and that they are tormented at the thought of what he endured. His family said, "It is difficult for us as a family to express our feeling of loss and the thought of never being able to see Abdirahim again, ever talk to him, or ever to hold him again. Abdirahim died in the most horrendous of circumstances. As a family, we are tormented at the thought of what he endured. He was outnumbered by men much older than him and was unable to defend himself. There was no one there to rescue him. The thought of this is unbearable, and the horror of it haunts us. There is no comfort to be had. There is no consoling thought for us in the way that Abdirahim died. It is too painful for us to contemplate a future without Abdirahim. Our lives will never be the same again. For us, Abdirahim will never be forgotten, and he will always be remembered with boundless love." So guys, I believe that all the men have been remanded and they're going to be sentenced on Friday. Once again, I just want to say rest in peace, Abdirahim, and my condolences go out to your family. It's your boy GT. Keep it locked, keep it real. Also guys, if I can ask you a quick favour, if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the channel, and if you do like the content, please go and share it with others too. I'd appreciate it. Big respect going out to each and every one of yous.